Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Futures are in the red resistance zone, sell zone, and looking for a little bit of dip here. You can see it's already up pre-markets almost 8:42 a.m. Eastern. You can see S&P 500 already in the resistance zone, sell zone. Red lines are where we sell, green lines are where we buy. And Nasdaq, you can also see same thing. You can see Dow Jones also in resistance. Russell is a bit weaker, but still touching the resistance. Bitcoin here. You can see after a massive rally yesterday, now just cooling down a bit. You can see it came back down to green zone and now it's in the neutral zone. So we'll see how it goes. Let's take a look at the long-term chart and then we'll look at daily chart. Guys, please hit the like button. Only takes 1 second to hit the thumbs up button. I appreciate that. You can see this is US 500 futures. We came to the bottom here. You can see every time in a bull market we come closer to the green line and then we bounce. And you can see here also we touched the green line and now we are bouncing and we could from here go and test the red line. So that's what I'm saying. It's quite possible we could go and touch the target 64.88, and on S&P MES, this is US 500 on MES, that target is around 65.22. Okay, so this is the top line, quite possible to go there. So from where we are right now, it can still go and touch almost 12% higher. So just keep that in mind overall. I could see a rally to hold a bit near resistance here, the neutral line, white line, so which is around 59.29. They could have a little bit of pullback and then keep going higher. Okay, so that's what I'm expecting. So what happened yesterday? Let's look at daily chart. You can see we had a massive gap up yesterday, and this is a daily chart of SPX. You can see this light blue line. This is 200 EMA, and you can see yesterday, actually this is, we broke down below that on this day on 10th of March, and since then we've been trying to go above this light blue line. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attempts, could not do it. And then what they decided, they just gap up. So that's like a trapping all the bears and just did a gap up. And people thought this is they cannot get above that. It's going to break down. So it just instead they just gapped up, and they even closed above this dark blue line, which is 200 SMA. Okay, on daily chart. So very, very significant levels, and now it's going above. Just keep that in mind. There is a gap here, so which we have open now. So it could be filled. I just don't know when. So just keep that in mind. Okay. So if there is a pullback, they could want to fill this gap and then keep going higher, or they could just keep going and fill this top gap. If I go to 1 hour chart where that gap is coming, you can see this gap down here happened on exactly 6th of March. So probably they most likely going to fill that gap, and then they will decide if they're going to go back down at some point, fill that gap, or just continue higher. So again, gaps don't need to be filled sooner. You can see this gap here, it took a while to fill that gap. So again, this can keep going down higher and then they can come back down at a later stage to fill it. So it doesn't need to fill right now. Also, I just wanted to show you another thing here. On this day when we did the same action, gap up above these blue lines, and we never came back to fill that gap. You can see it's been a while, and so not all gaps are filled. Just keep that in mind, but don't just keep thinking this gap is going to be filled, but just be aware of that. They can take a while to fill, and this could be filled in the next bear market. Who knows, right? Again, same thing here. This gap, again, you can see gap up here. They never fill this gap. So you can see this gap is also not filled. So just keep that in mind, and then plan accordingly. NDX, you can see same story here. Massive gap up and above. Not today is a real test because they're trying to close above this dark blue line, and you can see MNQ. This is live futures trying to go above that, getting a 8 count sell signal. Let's see if it can hold it and keep it higher. Else we could get a pullback to fill this gap and then go higher. All right. One other thing I wanted to tell you is we made a bottom couple of days earlier as per the cycle analysis, looking for a higher prices. So most likely what can happen is we're going looking for a filling of higher low and keep going higher. All right, so that's what I'm expecting. So we'll see how this thing shapes up, because this cycle is saying by mid of April we could have a nice rally. So that's what it's showing, but it's not going to be straight up. It could be some dips and bounces along the way. Dow Jones, same thing, gap up, but this gap is still not filled. So they are opening right on this yellow gap. So that's going to be filled this morning. You can see 0.25% up and then probably same thing again. They could keep going higher to fill this top gap or make a pullback and then go higher. Russell 2000, same story. Russell doesn't have any gaps to the top, so it's still a while to go above this. So again, if it comes back to fill this gap, then again look to buy that dip. Bitcoin. All right, so Bitcoin is in front of some resistance here. You can see these red and yellow lines. This is 50 moving EMA and SMA. Right in front of that, the good news is it's closed above blue lines, which is significant factor. So now I think it's gonna go higher to 125K. One of the reasons is we made a new low with divergence, higher high on RSI, higher high on PPO, and then we do have an official green line above red line, official close over, and then it's looking to go higher here. BTC futures, we do have a gap up, so they could bring it back down like other futures, fill this gap and then keep going higher, so just keep that in mind. Ethereum also just consolidating close above this white line. Ethereum futures, this is showing better. This is live market and you can see nice close above that, and also green line is above red line, so looking for a nice bounce. Same thing here actually. If you look at that concept, green line is above red line on S&P 500 as well, Nasdaq as well. So this is a good indication on all the stocks. This is called PPO, to see where we are heading. You can see this crossover even on CNQ just as an example, and now we are just going higher. All right, so that's crypto, and let's keep moving to FANG stocks. You can see crossovers are happening on a lot of majority of the stocks. So you can see here Apple still did not cross but about to close there. Looking for, you can see Apple does not have good news, any downwards gap. All the gaps are to the top side, so a huge potential. Even if you buy Apple since the close yesterday, looking for top gap around 18% higher. Meta already about to close, so we I think we're going to get a nice rally. Netflix is already closed, and they're getting ready for a nice rally. Amazon just had a crossover on PPO. Google also just had a crossover. So we are all setting up. Microsoft had a crossover. CrowdStrike is up already 2.24% pre-market. Already had a crossover. ServiceNow had a crossover. NVDA, same thing. AVGO is little weaker, not sure why. But that's good news because maybe they can pump later on, because right now other stocks are pumping, so maybe AVGO will help pump later on. Toronto Stock Exchange, looking for new highs already. The entire downwards move is already recovered in like maybe less than a week. Amazing. Hang Seng Index by the dip could come to fill this gap around 21,946, so just keep that in mind. Bond market little weaker, breaking down below this yellow line. Now next resistance is this red line, which is 50 SMA. TLT also breaking down. This is good news for stock because people buy bond when stocks are going lower, and people sell stocks when people sell bonds when stocks are going higher. So this is there are a couple of gaps here, so they could come back to fill that gap. Keep that in mind. What else is interesting? Let's see. Commodities, US oil looking nice, came to this support box, going higher. Um, every time it comes to this green box, it just bounces. So there is a target around 79.83. It could go then fill that. Natural gas probably could be bottoming here very soon, so could be a very good opportunity to buy. Gold after 8 count sell signal, little lower. Again, I think there are a lot of divergences, gold and gold stocks. You can see new highs on massive divergence on RSI and PPO. So looking for some pullback here. Silver also, I think it's going to cool down a bit. Probably people will buy stocks and sell commodities. Let's see. Sugar also, if it comes back to this green box, look to buy. Wheat, again coming back to this trend line, white line. Let's see if it can hold again. This is gone near 200 moving average. Dollar is in resistance zone here, so dollar is getting weakening. So a weaker dollar is better for stocks. So let's see if it can reject here. It's in a resistance box here. Tesla massive pump yesterday, almost 12% higher. There's some news, and again massive gap up. Again, this gap can be filled at a later date. We don't know when, and there are also these top gaps, so they could be heading to next 329. So just keep that in mind. AMD also had a massive gap up with all these gap. A long way to go for AMD. Could be heading there to fill some of these gaps. Shopify also had a nice explosive move yesterday in front of resistance. Probably they're going to close above that. So again, you can see nice V-shaped recovery in a lot of these growth stocks, and it's just a matter of time recovers fully. If there are any particular stocks you want me to review, guys, put a comment in the description with the stock symbol. Now we'll take a look. And MicroStrategy also nice recovery, V-shaped recovery, already above all moving averages. So about to start a nice bull trend. So any dips look to buy. Okay, so this looks very, very bullish. Probably looking for a new all-time high from here. So things are looking pretty good finally in everywhere. Okay, so lastly, VIX, you can see crushing, getting a 8 counts buy signal. I don't know if it's going to happen, but we could get a little pullback on SPX that could help VIX go higher, but then again, it should come back close in this 14 range and fill some of these gaps. Okay, guys, that's it for today. Hit the like button on your way out, and if you're interested to know about these zones, join my channel, Discord channel. There's a link in the description. Click join button. I share these levels screenshots with my subscribers and all the stocks I'm buying and selling. And I share Bitcoin channel buy and sell zones for free. All right, take care. Have a good one.